Nervous.
Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Megan, Rudo, AJ coming to you live as the Avs are taking on the Anaheim Ducks on the SEGABABA.
You're taking on the Anaheim Ducks.
Am I?
Yeah, it's you.
You're
You're actually in Anaheim right now. It's just you.
I'm going to lose.
No, you got this. I have faith. You got this. They're awful.
They aren't good. That is for sure. For an NHL team, they are not very good. Look, SEGABABA concerns regardless. It feels a lot like the Arizona game. It's one the Avs kind of have to have. A win tonight could jump them with Dallas. Looks like Minnesota's probably going to win their game right now, so they wouldn't move to first in the Central. But
Seattle.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Avs would maintain
3-0.
right there.
Girls.
Like, can we get some kind of push cracking? Like, Jesus.
I'm so upset.
Speaking of girls, did you watch the cup last night?
My brain. Isabel?
Yeah.
Absolutely short circuit. I didn't watch it.
Oh, it went into overtime also.
You're
did.
kidding me. That's amazing. I want more notice next year. I want to go to it.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Anyway, tonight's game, the big difference, Jonas Johansson in net. We'll get to him in just a second. Is this game simple enough that the Avs should just go out there and play their game and they should win?
Ottawa, baby. What they did in Ottawa, do in Anaheim.
Just do that?
You're good.
All right. I mean, you get that lead, you can afford to give up a few late, right?
No, score 5. You got Jonas Johansson in net. Score 5.
Okay. No arguments here. I will take that. I'm going to start bringing this up every game until they hit the milestones because
Sick.
It's that time. Mikko with 48, MacKinnon with 93. MacKinnon a little bit further away. Mikko could genuinely hit 50 goals tonight. It's on the table. Putting it that way. We know he doesn't care about it at all. Do you think the Avs care? Do you think the Avs want to get him to 50?
Sorry, I was looking at Mac's pace too, because he's been pacing really well.
He has been.
That it feels feasible for both these players, but certainly Mikko Rantanen, I'm sure his teammates absolutely want to see him hit that milestone. Even though individually it doesn't mean that much to him, even the chances he was taking in the first Arizona game, he was hungry for it. I mean, he's just naturally inclined to want to score goals, but there has to be a little something knowing how close he is to this milestone now.
I would hope so. I mean, again, this is something that, regardless of how Mikko feels about it, an Av hasn't scored 50 goals in 2 decades. It's been 20 years since the last time an Av did it. So
Pretty remarkable when you write down the list of players who have come through Colorado in that time.
yeah, there's a lot of good dudes that a lot of them haven't even come that close to 50. So
Do you remember when we were really excited when Jerome Iginla almost got to 30?
yeah. Different times. Now, Avs have, not this year, but when they're healthy, multiple players getting to 40 pretty regularly. But
Yeah, I mean, it feels like MacKinnon has scored 30 goals since January 1st. It's been so ridiculous for him.
it does feel a little bit like that. Either way, just something to keep an eye on with the Avs. Last year, I felt like we talked a lot about how this team was doing special things and setting all these records.
Yeah.
There's less of that this year, for sure, but it's not like it's completely gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they've accomplished so far this year is special in its own right. You're given the challenges that they've faced. You know, you look at like what Minnesota's doing right now without Kirill Kaprizov, and it's very admirable. You have to give them all the credit in the world. Do it for 6 months, and that's the Avs.
Yep.
And that's I think it's been an underrated part of this season is, you know, last year we were talking about a team setting records and all this other stuff, but this year's team has had just a never-ending series of injury issues and an ever-changing lineup. And, you know, you got to get a goaltender at the start of the year that never been a bona fide starter. We don't even talk about him anymore. And if we do, it's because of how great he is every night.
Yep.
Like, we all just sort of accept, like, Alexander Georgiev is great.
He's dope.
Yep, this isn't even a story. We're not even having the conversation about Georgiev holding up because he's been so good, dude. Okay, well, he's great. And it's incredible. Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen on their way to potentially career years here. Alexander Georgiev is having one. Bowen Byram is having, like, quietly, like, an unbelievable part of a season here. Yep. I mean, you're seeing some pretty special performances on the Avs lineup that it's just like it gets overlooked because of the overarching picture.
I think building on what AJ's saying, I recall littler milestones this season more than I have in previous seasons. I think because the story from this season has been so much adversity in terms of injury that Andrew Cogliano hitting 1,200 games is a testament to health and durability. And Georgiev in career starts because he is, for the first time in his career, one that was trending in the wrong direction before he came to Colorado's doorsteps. It's what he is now. He's a starting goaltender. It's Dennis Malgin and a career high in points per game in the 3-point night, and Val Nichushkin unlocking a 4-point night for the first time since his rookie season.
Arturi Lehkonen with a 20-goal season.
That's such a great point. Arturi Lehkonen, like, it's these littler milestones too, alongside the star-studded ones of Mikko and Mac, that are really exciting. And Bednar unlocking winningest coach in franchise history. Yep. It all comes together in the context of this season and points to some really nice things happening in the lineup.
Not even mentioned. Guy going into free agency, but JT Compher going to hit 50 points this year?
I don't want to mention that one. It's like, you all keep your eyes off him.
Yeah, like it's
a great point, though.
It really is, like, incredible. You go up and down the lineup and you're like, all right, so like Dennis Malgin hitting a milestone, though. But when Dennis Malgin, before he got traded for, Dryden Hunt did nothing for you for 22 games.
Yep.
And you trade for a guy, and he's just like, oh, yeah, but I'm just good now. Sorry. You know, Andreas Englund, like, might have played his way into an NHL job permanently while he was in your lineup.
Truth.
Like, some like, smaller things, but some tremendous personal accomplishments this season. And, like, they might still win the freaking division where we're like, oh, it was a tough year this year.
For a team who hasn't
win the division.
Been their best because of injuries, because of whatever. If they go 5-5 through the last 10 games of the year, they have a 102-point season.
Which at the start of the year, I feel like we all would have been like, what happened?
Yeah. But with the
then
context,
knowing how it all played out, we would all be like, oh, that makes sense.
And realistically, I think you can expect this team, you'd be a little bit disappointed if they didn't go at least 7-3 in the last 10.
Yep.
So this is a team that should be on pace for a 106-point season or better.
It's pretty, if they got to 106, it's pretty remarkable that we called that shot at the All-Star break.
Yeah. Bang on.
50 wins put them, or the 25 wins put them right at 107.
Yeah.
That was the goal. And if that ends up being where they get to, then
sometimes
we did a good job on that.
I guess.
They did a good job watching the pod again.
Moving into tonight specifically, obviously with Jojo in net, you're looking for a quality performance in front of him, but it is a SEGABABA. How good does Jojo have to be tonight? 3, 2, 4? What's he got to keep Anaheim to?
0.
0?
I'm kidding.
Avs are in trouble if that's what they need.
No.
Tell you what, if he gets a shutout, I will pour water on my head in the postgame.
I just wanted to bait AJ into saying that. Now he's made a promise.
Yeah. He gets a shutout. I mean,
I pour water for hat tricks. You pour water for shutouts.
Exactly. Only
I'm
for
here.
backup goalie shutouts. though.
Backup
Sorry,
goalie.
backup goalie non-Francois shutouts.
New DNVR lore just dropped.
It's happening.
That's right.
I mean, realistic expectations, though. You're not expecting a shutout. I think you can reasonably expect him to only give up 2 or 3, though, right?
My goal is 3.
Okay.
If he gives up 3, it's a tough ask and all to score 4 goals on a SEGABABA, blah blah blah. It's Anaheim. You should really do it. But I think 3 would be. I would be fine with 3.
Okay. Just give him a chance to win. That's all you're asking for
Yeah.
out of Jojo, right?
3 should be keeps them competitive.
I think so, because that does still demand a lot of the Avs group in front of him.
Yeah.
They have to live up to that as well. So
Yep.
I think that's realistic, too, given how these two teams last played against one another.
Well, and
Avs let it get away from them a bit.
look, you look at last game against Arizona, MacKinnon's point streak comes to an end. That's a dude who doesn't go scoreless twice very often.
So a new one has to start.
He has points now with this game. I guess it's 19 games of his last 21 he has points in. He went 9 games, missed 1, then went 10 games. Or was it 11? I guess it was 11-game point streak he got to. So it'd be whatever. Doesn't matter. My point is the dude scores a lot of points. You don't expect him to go scoreless twice.
And like, let's be real, Anaheim's terrible.
They are not good.
And there's no Troy Terry tonight.
A defense that has been decimated by the trade deadline.
Trade deadline, and like a team that is properly embracing the Connor Bedard thing, that understands the moment here. Not Arizona. Anaheim gets it. You got a head coach that you know you're going to fire at the end of the year. You got a team that's not very good. You got a bunch of guys that you know aren't going to stick around long term. You've got the perfect formula to get out of the rest of the NHL's way and lose some games. Like the Avs should just sidestep that and okay, hey, we're coming in here. We're just gonna take care of business.
Okay. Next question. Can we all agree the greatest bad guy in Cartoon Network history is Mojo Jojo?
Hell yeah, brother.
At least Tiff's on board.
That was a really enthusiastic response.
Hell yeah, brother.
That was literally the only thing I could think of the entire time
Oh,
making
Joe,
the pregame
Jojo.
the
Yeah.
frames was
Yep.
Mojo Jojo. I was like, how can I make this into Powerpuff Girls?
Absolutely here for the Powerpuff Girls memes.
It's a great show.
But with the Avs lineup, it's been in constant flux all season. You now have Erod back in the top 6. You now you're trying to find that mojo again. You're trying to find that chemistry again with these lines, with this lineup. You have 10 games left in the season. How much is this continuing to tinker, and how much of this, hey, we need to just have something that sticks?
Yes.
Both?
Well, because you need to win those games, and so I think you're going to rely on what you think is going to work. But you also know
True. If it's not working,
there
you
is
don't
a
stick with
decent
it.
chance you're gonna have to tinker.
Yeah.
Because Arturi Lehkonen is set to return for you at some point. You're hoping Josh Manson works his way back in. And hey, if the fates align, then you'll have a Gabe Landeskog appearance at some point. So but you know for sure, tinkering is coming. But what they can do right now is find some stuff that works in the meantime. Stuff that they could always go back to where they just take their lineup and then just say, plus Lehkonen on one of these lines.
Is there confidence that this will work? That when Lehkonen comes back, they can drop it in? And I get it, there'll be some tinkering, but can it be generally reliable as a top 6 unit? You know, maybe sometime into the playoffs, you're talking about Landy returning as well.
Yeah, I mean, when Avs didn't pursue a 2C option, that was the reality we are living in. And I think they've demonstrated, too, an aptitude for this. I think tinkering is necessary because of the uncertainty surrounding a player like Evan Rodriguez, that they need to have a couple looks then within their top 6. But with the health of Arturi Lehkonen and then the uncertainty and unknown surrounding Landeskog, who is familiar with this group already, I think it's necessary just to get a few different looks. But I have confidence in it a couple different ways, too, this top 6.
I hope so. I hope they find something that works and stays consistent. And not that they haven't. Obviously, MacKinnon and Rantanen have both been absolutely lights out at different times this year. So it's not like there's concern there or anything. It's been so... the line mates have been so all over the place all year, and it's out of the Avs' control, but you do wonder if they could get to that next level of consistency when it comes to things like that and knowing where your teammates are going to be.
It relies a lot on Evan Rodriguez, truthfully.
I don't disagree.
At this point.
Yeah. If he can find a consistent spot and get going. Particularly, there were times this year where it did feel like it was clicking for him.
Absolutely.
At a pretty respectable level.
Yeah.
I mean, for like 20, 25 games. Like,
Yeah.
He had some stretches there.
So
If he just wants to save all those stretches and then do it in the postseason, we'll allow that, but it'd be cool if he started now.
And AJ, you talked about this with Lars Eller and taking pressure off of JT Compher the other day. There's a little bit of finding a rhythm for how to use these lines most effectively, right?
Yep.
When can you activate a Lars Eller line for a shutdown shift? When can you sneak Alex Newhook up for a shift or whatever?
And when Lars Eller's getting his head kicked in like he did yesterday, how do you respond to that?
Who
What
steps up? Yeah.
What do you do? And what we saw, and we didn't talk about this in the post game, but what we saw in response was Darren Helm found his way in between Cogliano and O'Connor,
Yep.
and that trio looked just like they did in the postseason again. Three little wrecking balls just running into stuff and creating chaos all over the ice. But it was chaos that included the Coyotes not having the puck. And so that's then you're kind of back to searching, okay, what's Lars going to do for you? Because we know those three guys can get put together and be little chaos monsters together. What do you do with the rest of your lineup then? Because you don't want to minimize Eller's role so much, knowing that he can provide such value for you, but you got to put him in a position to succeed. Are you putting him, with a Lekin in your lineup? Are you putting him with a Rodriguez and a Newhook and getting away with that? I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. So finding a space for a guy like an Eller also would be really important on a night where maybe they decide to change it up a little bit. Because seeing that change last night with that line where Helm elevated and that line went from getting run over to doing a little bit of running over on its own is an important wrinkle, knowing that either combination has had success before.
Yeah.
And that they could go back to them when they decide if they're going to start a game with Helm in the middle of them, great. If they're going to start a game with Eller in the middle of them, whatever. But you have to find a job for the other guy.
Yeah.
Knowing that Helm or Eller, you believe that guy is more than just...
Job can't be 6 minutes a night on the fourth.
Exactly. You believe that guy is more than just just take 8 shifts and make sure they're super boring. Like, that's a guy that can help you.
Yep. Well, hopefully I can help you make a little bit of money tonight on DraftKings Sportsbook. Got a couple of bets here. It's pretty hard to find good money even on the SEGABABA. You can go with the ridiculous parlay. I don't think we've hit one yet, so I have some of my own bets here. Take the Avs to win the first period. It's plus 115. So there's on a night where the Avs are minus 265. Finding money for them to win a period's not bad. You can take the over. It's a minus 120, but 6.5 goals. With Jojo and net, I think you're kind of expecting a goal fiesta tonight. Hopefully the Avs can outscore.
It's kind of cold.
I mean, the Avs putting up points to protect him as much as it is him giving up anything.
I mean, ended up with 9 in Ottawa.
That's what I'm saying. Down the line, goal scorers, Val Nichushkin plus 145. Look, I think he's on the tracks, man. I think the train is back. I think it's time for the
tracks, man.
Yeah.
I think we're way beyond that. I think we were on the tracks a week ago.
He's well down the line at this point.
I mean, that thing is full steam ahead right now.
Fair enough. Plus
Jared
145
Bednar's back there
there.
shoveling coal into the engine. Like,
Keep going.
yeah, like do the thing, Val.
Other options: JT Compher and Makar, both plus 235 to score a goal tonight. So Pick your favorites there.
Is there a first goal scorer for Evan Rodriguez in there?
Let me see. I didn't see him. Yeah, it looks like they haven't added him back from the injury yet.
We had one of our listeners. They have a birthday tomorrow. We're off from the pod. I wanted to give him a shout out. Josh from Grand Junction, and he is taking Evan Rodriguez for the first goal scorer. So if that comes to fruition,
right.
we got to give him a shout out on the post game
pod
too.
bet then.
Yeah, that's the pod.
Evan
bet.
Rodriguez's first goal scorer. We're all doing it then.
Official pod bet.
That's
I
the
love
one
it.
we're going
Pod
with.
bet. We have adopted it.
If it hits, we're following your birthday bets from now on.
Birthday bets.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Honestly,
love that.
We
As
should
a-
just be doing birthday bets
Yeah.
every game.
Everyone.
Whose birthday is it?
Yeah.
And not Allie's, because she cheats.
That's
She cheats about her birthday.
Whatever it is you want to bet on, head it over to DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app today. Use the DNVR code to get amazing odds boosts every single day with a new account. You must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And it's all void in Ohio. We're about 10 minutes away from puck drop here for the Avs. What's final thoughts? Any keys we left out? Anything you want to add? No?
Anaheim is terrible. Please win.
Leave it at that. I guess, can we do a watch along today?
because Nuggets shouldn't need
'cause
to
they're downstairs.
come
Yeah,
back.
they're downstairs.
Well, you'll see me on the watch along in like 5 or so minutes here. And then if that's not your thing, you of course have the post game to break it all down. Whatever happens, win or lose, hopefully win. We'll see you on one of those or both of them. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you later.